Welcome to the Why Not podcast with me, Chrissy Hawkins. In a world where everybody asks you why, I'm here to ask why not. So sit back and relax or walk and listen and join me on this journey as we try to answer this never-ending question: what makes people say, why not? Hello guys, welcome back to Why Not. You may hear the tone in my voice. I am actually recording this episode for a second time because I'm an idiot. And when I tried to export it twice, I decided to accidentally delete the original, not the one I needed. Anyway, here I am. We are back. We are round 2 trying to do this. Sorry, I will actually be grand once I get into my flow again. But you ever I've been at this for like an hour or so now. I recorded a 25-minute episode, and because I'm an idiot, I deleted it. And now I'm starting again. So, what did I want to talk about today? Well, it is the name of the episode, which is I hit 10k followers on Instagram and it doesn't matter. And the reason I wanted to kind of talk about this is not just to be like bragging about the fact that I got 10k, because I think one of the things being, especially since like the introduction of TikTok and how many followers people have, it's not a huge amount on the grand scheme of things. It might be a big thing for some people. Obviously, like, it's for me, I've never had that many followers anywhere, but it'd be really funny if there was actually 10,000 people following you. That'd be really weird. You'd feel really awkward about it. But I digress. I easily get distracted with things like this. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I suppose, like, so many people have multiple thousands of followers now. 10k is kind of a small amount in the grand scheme of things. And really, like, it doesn't change anything, to be honest. Yeah, it's cool having 10k on your profile, but I think the reason for me, and this is kind of a bit of an epiphany in the last while that I've had, the reason it doesn't matter hugely for me is the fact that I have, for a long time, I really kind of associated with followers and likes on videos and stuff like that with my own self-worth, which was not great because I had very low self-esteem. I would feel like I was a bit of a loner, didn't have a lot of friends, and it's almost like you're getting internet friends, for want of a better description. So you kind of start tying this emotional rope to everything. So then what I would find is, if I thought I made a really big piece of content, when a good piece of content, when people didn't automatically like love it or start following me, I would feel like a personal attack. And really, that has changed quite a lot for me in the last year, which has been a long journey. But how this came about was, originally I had wanted to hit 1k followers on Instagram, and I was less than 20 off at Christmas. So I was like, right, I'm going to post some videos, make sure I show up every day, try and get those like 15, 20 followers, get over 1,000 mark. And what happened was, some shit went down. I didn't have the mental capacity to really focus on it. So I just said, look, I'll still show up by throwing old videos up every day. And this is one I posted maybe 3-4 times over the course of time. It had done well on my TikTok. It had never really done well on Instagram, but I was like, feck it, I have that in my saved videos, I'll just chuck that up. And it exploded probably because it was right time, right place. It was the middle of Christmas, everyone's on their new phones and checking these things, and it just took off. And I think it got me about 7,000 followers as opposed to the 15 I was looking for. So it was mental. And it was funny because when that happened, that was something that I would have killed for years ago. And at the time I was so like mentally distraught that it actually meant nothing to me. I was like, if anything, I hope no one asks me questions. I don't want anyone to come to me with what they want to do, like fitness wise. Just everyone leave me alone. I I'm not interested right now. And it was kind of crazy to feel like that. But it really was, at that time, it was a case of I was just in a very bad place mentally. I just wanted everyone to be away from me. And it was almost overwhelming to get these many followers in. Um, but see, the thing is, and I think a lot of people feel like this, and I think I for sure was one of these people that kind of tie, as I said, tying that self worth to likes and followers, and you kind of have that like, I'll be happy when. So sometimes you'd be like, or you feel like maybe you get to a certain amount of followers and suddenly you'll get recognition for being a person, like you'll get brand deals or you'll get people telling you you're great because you have so many followers, whereas that's really not the case. Like, I do not get any free stuff, which is bullshit. I'm only joking. I really don't care. But and I'm probably now 10k is probably not enough for certain brands to want to do something with you, but also there's no like they're not just on followers now. People tend to brands tend to go to people who, yes, have a following, but also align with the brand, or there's a reason. Like, there's no reason for a lot of people to give me free stuff because I, like, for instance, if I wanted like horse gear, I'm not horse riding. Like, why would a horse company give me stuff because I have a retired horse that I give cards to? It makes complete logic sense, and I think you do need to have that kind of mindset and realize. And also, you don't necessarily want free stuff. Just, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think it's not always great to be gifted. Sometimes people gift shite. I I say that. I say that. It's only because I'm bitter. I'm not getting anything. No, I'm messing. Um, but yeah, like, so you assume you'll hit this mark, and suddenly things will be better because look, it shows like 10k people follow you, 10k people think you're brilliant, but you've no friends, or like close family connections or anything like that, and it really like doesn't make a difference, to be honest. And there's been a big shift for me over the last 9 months in realizing this. So at the moment, I am actually in a race with someone to 15k followers, and the premise behind that is whoever loses have to wear the opposing person's jersey, and I do not want to wear that jersey. So right now my mission is avoid wearing a Munster jersey. But on top of that, over the course of the last 9 months, I have been doing therapy weekly, and I've done a lot of work on myself, and now I am more comfortable in myself. So those numbers are now just numbers. If I put a video up or if I repost something and it gets nothing, it's tumbleweeds, I just don't care. It is no reflection on me. The content I make is not a reflection on me, and it's not a reflection on who I am as a person. I suppose it is a reflection on me, like it's what I believe. I'm putting stuff up. I'm happy to put that stuff up. I will share what I believe in. If you don't agree, fine. That's If you don't think it's engaging, if you don't think it's enjoyable to watch, that's fine. But again, it's not like if it doesn't, it doesn't say anything about me. It just says that I put the content up, and that took a lot of work and a lot of time to come to a place where I do feel like that, and I feel comfortable with posting stuff and posting myself. And well, I've been doing that for a long time, but not making it about me. um and I think it's really important to think that, because it's very easy to become very self-centered, or and it's not like, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but sometimes when you are struggling mentally, everything kind of comes about you. Like, why am I the problem, why is this? And when you do the work over time, and I'm not saying this, I'm not a therapist, by the way, this is just my own personal experience, you start to realize most things aren't about you. and that's a good thing. Because it shouldn't be about you. You are like for you, yes, but like you should put yourself first and have boundaries and stuff. But the world shouldn't revolve around you. People have other things going on, and it's not a slight on you if people don't react the way you want. It's just the way life is. People have their own shit, and once you can get a bit better at that and not take things so personally, it can make things a lot easier for yourself. I hope that makes sense. But I think another thing to remind ourselves, and the reason I kind of want to talk about this as well, is today this is going out on World Suicide Prevention Day, and we know right now we are losing so many people to suicide, and it's really really sad to see, and really like I've been there, I've been in that like headspace where I wanted to, and it's really hard to talk about for me, not because it's hard to talk about mental health struggles. I think I'm getting better at that. I find massive guilt with it because I don't feel like I was in a position to that I should be feeling like that, if that makes sense. I had no massive trauma, I had no um bad upbringing or, crazy things happen. Yet I was feeling this way, and I think there's a lot of people out there who will feel like that. And oh, sorry, I'm not trying to laugh during a talk about suicide prevention, but I just realised my microphone's not plugged in. So I'm sorry if the sound quality's not great. But what I wanted to say was that I it's tough. It's tough for anyone who's in that mental state, and you don't have to have a you don't even really have to have a reason to have mental health struggles. They can be triggered by the smallest of things. And I feel like it's not a bad thing. And don't feel guilty. Sorry, don't feel guilty for feeling that way, because I think there's so many people who we do lose to suicide, and people are like, but they had a family, they had this, they had everything going for them. Like, I don't know what the problem was. And that's the thing, we don't know what causes mental health issues. There's a myriad of different things, from trauma to chemical imbalances, and I think you do feel guilty when you feel like that, and you're again just kind of beating yourself up a little bit more. So it's really important that we open up, we talk to people. The worst thing you can do is bottle it up because you feel like you can't tell anyone, and at the end of the day you may lose people if you do tell them. But if you do, you don't need them in your life, to be honest. That's just my view on it. But I I think as well, if you are in that really dark place, it's really really important to speak with a professional. Sharing things with your friends and family is good, but it is that kind of next level where you need to work with someone on that professional level, because as much as your friends and family care, sometimes it can be very overwhelming. They try to throw things at you or distract it, or they won't deal with it in a way a professional will. Sometimes the smallest questions that your therapist asks can make the hugest of difference. Like, personally, it's happened to me. I have been in therapy for the last 9 months, and I swear to God, it is part of the reason my mindset shift of getting 10K doesn't matter a damn, because sometimes they just ask you a question about something that you have accepted for a long time, and it completely changes your outlook. And I think it's so important and so necessary for us to have those people who know the right questions to ask, and from a completely unbiased opinion. Like, it's, as I said, friends and family will always try to help. They might try and offer solutions when sometimes you just need to talk. I would suggest if you do have a friend who's reaching out to you about something, just listen and ask them, do they want help, or to do they want your opinion? Because sometimes literally all they need is just that safe space to talk. And that's why I think, especially if you're in a very dark place, and I've been there, a therapist is much more appropriate than speaking to your friends. Because also, like, your friends, and again, it's not to burden people, but sometimes people are struggling with things as well, and they can't take on the level of emotion. Maybe they can't process their emotions themselves. Whereas if you have a professional, you know you're going to have someone who, like, you're literally paying them to do it. Sorry for being blunt, but I do, in saying that, want to encourage anybody who is feeling down, or, like I was saying about it, if you're having mental health struggles, if you are feeling depressed, if you are feeling like there's nowhere to go, you can, um, please do try and reach out to people. Please try and talk to people. You may not be able to afford a therapist. Try to ring Samaritans or a similar charity who deal with these kind of situations. Um, your problems are not too small. You may feel like that. You may feel guilty, like you shouldn't be feeling this way. It's not. It doesn't matter. It is to you, and you need to be. No, you don't need to be anything. But I promise you, the world is a better place with you in it rather than out of it. So do try and reach out and try and help yourself out of that position. Which can be very difficult, believe me. Sometimes you have to feel like you're going to hit the rock bottom before you come back up. But please try and make sure that rock bottom is not the end of your life. Um, Also, on the flip side, if you are ever worried about your friends, please do reach out to them. Like, if people can feel very awkward and worried something will happen, but if you feel like a friend's been extra quiet, or you're not sure what's going on, do, like, let them know you're thinking about them. Just give them a text. They mightn't answer, like, with anything, but I think it's really important to check in on people if you haven't been hearing them for a while. And even, like, if just in general, like, you don't have to necessarily be worried about someone to check in on them. It's nice to just text someone and ask them how they are. I find that really helpful. Sometimes it's really nice to, like, you haven't been talking to someone, so you just send them a message, how are you? And next thing you know, you're having a big out full on catch up on everything, from the weather to God knows what else. It's just it can be really refreshing and really fun to do. So it doesn't always have to be for bad reasons that you catch up with people. Sometimes as being an adult, you fall out of contact with people as much as you'd like to be. Um, so yeah, just as a reminder, I just wanted to bring that up with the mental health stuff as the day that's in it. And again, personally, this is what I've found. A few little suggestions, but again, if you are really struggling, do seek out a professional, because they are literally trained to help you. And I don't know if I mentioned at the start of this episode, but I have 10K followers on Instagram, and I just wanted to, go through maybe how, if you're looking to grow your Instagram, what you can do to help grow. Because apparently I'm a guru now. I'm only messing. I'm not. But in relation to that, if there is something you want to work on, I think I've kind of covered a few of the things before. If you are looking for growth, first one is, don't take anything personally. The content is the content. It is not you. It's just an extension. It is it's not an extension of you. It's just content that you have made. And it's not an attack on you if you don't, if it doesn't go the way you want it. Like I said before, consistency whatever is good enough for you. And even sometimes for me, like I try to post maybe 2 times a day. Sometimes at the end of the week I won't, but sometimes I just like, if I'm not bothered making something together, I'll just repost an old video, because you don't know how it'll go. You never know how it's going to show up. So it's really worth, I think, doing repost, repurpose, take things that you've done well before, see if you can change it up, take things that haven't done well, see what needs to change and maybe make it do well and close to the videos that has done well. Highly recommend a competition. I am a big advocate of competitions. Anything is gamified, I forget I have worries about it. So right now, as I said, I have that competition, but also it makes you accountable. So like it's just the same as the gym, or as any other thing in life. Once you're accountable, it gives you course to keep going, I suppose. Like for me, sometimes I just repost something if I haven't really done anything, but it makes me show up constantly instead of giving excuses not to do it because I want to win that competition. And I think accountability is such a big thing, especially if you are someone who struggles to put yourself out there. Having someone who you're kind of not tethered to, but that accountability that you need to, for one better description, beat, or someone that you're talking to and meeting up and you're discussing, have you done your what you said going forward, can really make a difference. This works in PT, this works in business, this works in trying to grow Instagram. Even like therapy, I know every week I have a certain session and kind of forces me to keep track of my thoughts. Like, doesn't mean your mental health stays better because of it, but it means I question myself more. I try and challenge myself when I have those ruts, because then I can go and tell my therapist everything. And also, if I have a bad week, it means I can go and tell my therapist. And that's the same when it comes to, like, as I said, everything here. So, if you have an accountability buddy that you are either in a race with, or if you are working together, you touch base every week, every couple of days. Have you done this? Have you done that? You feel more obliged to do it, which is good, because when you're doing it on your own, it can be very hard to keep yourself self-motivated. So I really do suggest people who are trying to, if you are trying to grow an Instagram or grow a business or grow something, finding an accountability buddy or making some form of challenge that really pushes you to take part in it, as opposed to giving yourself excuses not to do it. And main thing it is have fun. Obviously when it comes to business building and stuff like that, or fitness, it's not always fun. There are things you need to account for as well. But if it's a case of growing social media, have fun with it. Try different things. Always be learning. Test different things. If they don't work, try something else. But just have fun with it. Come with an open mind. When things don't work, it's not a failure, it's a learning. And I know it's really easy to say that and not feel like it means anything when it happens, but do try and catch that. Ask that question. Why was it a failure? What was wrong with it? Is it me? No, it's probably not you. So yeah, ask those questions. Always ask those questions if something doesn't go the way you want. I found that incredibly helpful in life in general. Or if I find bad thoughts coming in, just ask a few questions, and before you know it, you've generally navigated yourself out of your own head. And that can be the biggest prison cell ever, is being in your own head. So get out of your own head, get moving, ask questions, don't accept anything, and look after yourself and your friends and your family and everyone around you. As I said, it is going out on World Suicide Prevention Day. I really hope anyone who's struggling out there does reach out and doesn't let the stories in their head have fatal consequences, basically. And that's not to belittle anyone's feelings, because I have been there. I know what it's like. It's horrible and it's soul crushing. And sometimes all you need to do is not all you need to do. It's a lot of work. It is not easy. It's actually harder at the start. So you need to you're worth it. Okay, the world is better with you in it, and I want you to believe that. And I hope this helps anybody who may be struggling and may need a bit of help. You absolutely deserve to be here and deserve everything to good to come to you. No matter if you believe that or not right now. With that, I'm going to leave you guys. I think that is a nice time to round it off. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I made sense. I know I flipped back and forth between things, i.e. ADHD, but I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to find me anywhere, you will find me on Instagram and TikTok. So it is Instagram is at Strong the Saddle with an underscore at the end, and TikTok is at Strong the Saddle with no underscore. And if you want to find out more about working with me, and this is completely in a fitness capacity, I am not a counsellor or a therapist or any way, shape, or form, and I have no intention of ever becoming one. You will find me on www.chrissyhawkins.com, or send me a DM on any of those Instagram platforms, and I'd be happy to chat to you. So I hope, again, as I said, you enjoyed this episode, and I will talk to you again next week.
I really do appreciate everybody who listens to this podcast. So if you please could help me with the algorithm and leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And even, if you want to reach out and suggest topics for me, I'd be delighted to hear from you. Drop me a DM on Instagram or TikTok. And thanks again for listening.